This is TWiT.
We've already talked about this, Rene. We talked about it on TWiT. Jason Snell was on TWiT. But I canceled my Mac Studio display after reading the reviews from Nilay Patel, from John Gruber, both of whom said the camera was terrible, the center stage was imperfect. Yeah. But what's interesting, Jason Snell says his camera looks great. So it may be some sort of weird build thing. You're on the studio display camera. It does not look great. It doesn't look as good as whatever you're using before anyway.
The studio's display has literally an iPad 9 or an iPhone SE2 inside
with 64 gigs of storage.
Well, but that's economies of scale. Like they just have all these SoCs that like Apple's not immune to chip shortages. They just bought an awful lot of stuff in advance, and that's what they have in stock. And it makes all the sense in the world to economize that as much as they can. So you literally have an iPad 9 camera system, an ultra wide iPad 9 camera with center stage, the A13 SoC, the RAM, the store, all of it. It is literally
so it's really a Frankenstein display. Frankenstein display.
I mean, who wanted an M1 in this, right? Like, you take out the M1 that everybody wanted, you put in an A13, and then you got a display.
Right. In fact, Mark Gurman, who was on for you last week, that's basically what he had concluded.
Thank you, Mark.
He had basically concluded that this was designed 2 years ago, same as the iPhone 11. They had all these parts. There's no reason to take out the 64 gigs of storage. You have to make a new SoC. So just throw it all in there.
It's just the board. Yeah, you just throw the board in and you're good. Yeah.
But the real question is it a good monitor for $1,500?
So I mean, this is a hard thing to answer only because you have two very different types of customers. You have people who just want a monitor who should stay away from this. And then you have people who for 6 years have been begging Apple to just take the LG Ultrafine 5K panel or the 5K iMac panel, just take that, put it in an Apple enclosure and give it to them, because the LG one has been problematic for years. Wi-Fi issues, display issues, it's cheap and plastic feeling. So they're like, just give us that, because what you can't get on the market, like there are a lot of 4K displays, but 4K at 27 inches isn't precisely 2X, which is what anyone who cares about Apple stuff, especially UI designers and people who care about pixel perfect things, they want that because it means it's exactly on the pixel grid. It's not being scaled up or down. So all these designers are just, yes, thankfully, finally, we've got it. They were the intended customer for this, because there's no other reason for Apple to make a display. There are tons of other displays on the market. They didn't want to make it. LG just failed to make it. So they got back into it. And now a bunch of people who could care less about this monitor are angry about it. But the people who've been asking for it for 6 years are beyond the moon happy.
I got Lisa instead. I had already bought it because I didn't know that Apple was going to come out with a studio display. So I got her, actually it's a UHD 4K LG Ultrafine, or not, I guess it's not Ultrafine if it's not 5K, but it's fine. And she's not running it at a 4K anyway, because the monitor next to it is 1440. So it's scaled to 1440. It actually scales pretty nicely to 1440. Maybe is that because that's half 2880? I don't. Anyway,
at 24 inches, you want 4K. Sorry, 21.5 inches, you want 4K. At 24, you want 4K.
It's a 31-inch monitor, 31.5-inch monitor.
Yeah. Then you want close to 6K.
No, you don't.
Again, if you care about those things.
She's not doing. She's merely doing spreadsheets.
You care about the grid.
Yeah. Okay.
Her pivot tables need to be on grid.
Yeah. No, they are on grid. But what I'm saying is, I had to lower the resolution anyway because it had to match the 49-inch monitor that's on the other side of it. You don't want to be moving back and forth and have all the point sizes had to match.